Hello guys, welcome back into my videos. Today we are just going to look at HTML. Okay, so in fact let's start by catching up on what we did last time. Okay, so all these things I know guys, they are still basic, but it's what I'm going to use each and every time whenever we code something. So it's advisable to actually get this information and these terminologies straight as we start from scratch. Okay. So last time we looked at testing. We said a website or a web app is it's composed of what makeup languages and programming languages, and then under makeup languages we looked at HTML and CSS. We said HTML, if this was a body, HTML it will be the skeleton of the body, right? And then we said the CSS, it will be the looks. So today we're gonna look at HTML in details, a bit more in details. So yeah, let's just do that. So okay, here we go. So like any skeleton, right? A skeleton is made out of bones. Okay, so when it comes to our HTML, the HTML is made out of what containers, and we call these containers tags, so the basic ones, it's a header, it's a head tag and a body tag. Okay, and so under the body tags, all the text that goes inside the body tag. Okay, so they have these things, what is it, these spacings, so it will be the content. Okay, and we have this some spacing around that content, we call it padding, and then we have this one is called a border, and we have a margin. So if let me just draw something here, I'll erase it now. Okay, so like this. So when, as you see this box, right, we said these things, HTML is made of these containers, right? So this box, as you see it, this outline line here, which is covering all around, is what we call a border. Okay, so and the space outside this box, like around this box outside the door, that will be margin. So if you want to move this box, let's just say we want to take it down like this, that will be a margin top, so if we want to take it to the side like that, that means we are pushing this box from the left hand side, that will be our margin left, and then margin bottom like that, and margin left, something like that. So that's what's happening. Outside the box is our margin. Inside here it's our padding. Okay, so what I write here, it will be the content. So this is the content, and what's in here, the space around this text, between this text and that box, is the padding. Okay, so yeah, that's it about padding. Okay, now let's look at this text, HTML text. So we have these ones. In fact, these ones, they are not written, right? So it should be like this. Okay, H3, H4, H5, 5 and 6. Yeah, so basically these are examples of of some of the text that we'll be using. Okay, so we have header text, and these are for headings. When you write your titles and whatnot, those are header text. You'll see their container, it's we put them inside a container like this, and then it will be like maybe H1 if you want to use H1, and close that H1. So whatever content that we write here inside, that will be our content, and this is an opening tag, and that's a closing tag, you know. So we'll see a lot of this when we code. This is just to cover the basics, you know. See a lot of this as we continue with this thing. Anyway, let's look at another one, a paragraph tag. You know, this is a paragraph container and a div tag, and we'll also see some input tags and video tags, you know. A video tag, we'll see the list goes on. It's not this one, but these are just the examples. Okay, so well, now that we know about these few things that I mentioned here, okay, let's look at a HTML. Then let's look at a HTML. So okay, so whenever we write a code, right, we have to write it somewhere, and the way we do that, we have to write it just like this. If I create a document file, if I want to write a document file, I come to wait, right, and then I write it there and I save it. So the very same thing applies when it comes to coding. If I wanted to write a code, I have to write it in a text editor, right? And there are many different text editors out there. So a text editor, it will be something like let's take the default one. It's a Notepad, you know. If you are running on your operating system, your Windows operating system, the default one that comes with that operating system is a Notepad. Okay, so here you can write your HTML files and save them, right? And save those things, and then when we open them, they will open in our browser. So let's just do that. So and when you write a HTML file, right, hey, you start with HTML opening tag, and then you close it, right? You close that tag. Okay, so inside the HTML file, you will have we set a head tag. Okay, you also have to close this one. All right, and you will have a body tag, a body tag. Let's close this body tag. Okay, now what goes into the header, this head tag, it's you know, the text that goes under that one, that part. These are the things that are used by your browser, you know, and the search engines. So you'll have meta tags and all those kind of stuff that goes under that tag. For example, let me just write a basic one. We'll take the title tag for title, you know. So yeah, so let's write it first site. Yeah, so okay, so whatever we write there, we write it for index2.html. yeah, so whatever we write on this under these head tags, they will be used by the browser. Okay, it's not for users, this is just for the browser and the search engines. So I've created this file, and then I saved it to my desktop as index2. Okay, let's just open it. You'll see it's blank, you know, it's not a website, it doesn't show anything. But if I go here, you see it writes what, first site, you know, and that's for our title tag. All right, so now let's start writing stuff under this. So now anything that we write on the body tag will come here. It's what the user will see. So let's just write hello here. For example, I'm gonna use h1 h1 tag. Okay, yeah. So let's save this All right, and refresh our site. As you can see now, we see the hello tag there. Okay, notice that there is a spacing between the what is it, between the this browser body tag, you know, there's a spacing here. See, so this weight is not here at the corner, exactly at the corner. So it's because of header text comes with the default what spacings, like those paddings and margins that which we talked about, right? But we'll see a lot of those stylings in when we look at CSS. So let's look at a div tag now. Let's look at the div tag. Okay, so let me write it above this. Okay, all right. So again, a div tag is like any tag, right? They are all containers. They are all containers. So let me write the same thing, just say hello here. Okay, now let's refresh here. Okay, you see, so also here still looks like there's some padding. So what you can do to check the paddings, if they are default paddings and whatnot, just on your Chrome, just click on F12. Okay, when you click on F12, you can see some stylings there. Okay, you can see some styles, as you can see here. When I go to this div tag, it looks like it's a block, and what a block means, it means it starts here up until it covers the whole thing, the container. Even though the weight is there, it doesn't wrap the weight like this, but it takes the whole space up until then. Okay, so now you can see by default that this body tag, right, it comes with a margin of 8 pixels. So when I click this margin here, let me see if we can cancel this. Okay, all right, it looks like we can't cancel that. Yeah, but you see the orange part. This thing is what I like about Chrome. You see, Chrome has that thing. So here it's your content. It's the very same containers that we're looking at. Whatever that goes in here, it's the content, and then here it's the padding, here is the border, and this is the margin. And right now we are looking at this element, the body tag, right, with all these things inside. So yeah, so that's it about a div tag. Let's look at other tags. Okay, so as you can see so far, these tags, they cover the whole thing. They cover the whole space. They are displayed as blocks, meaning they cover the whole space, you know, the whole width. Let's look at some of the tags that don't do that. It's just like a span. So if I want a tag that doesn't do that, I would look at the span tag. Let's write hello here. Okay, all right, so this one, yes, so look at this. You see, when I hover over this, when I hover over the H1, it highlights the whole thing, right? It highlights the whole tag, and then it shows me that this tag has, by default, the H1 tag, it comes with a default margin. You see the orange thing there, the orange color around the thing, and the blue color here, as you can see, it's we set this one is the content. So whatever element that I'm looking at, this one, it comes with those default. The div tag, it doesn't come with any stylings, you know, it only the content, but it's a block. It covers the whole width. Let me just maximize this thing so that we see it. So it covers the whole width, right? The div tag, it covers the whole width, and this one, it still covers the whole width, all right, but it also has the margin. By default, it has those spacings of margin. And then let's look at this one. You see, this one is not when you hover over the span tag, it doesn't cover the whole space, right? Which means if we can write another span tag, it will be close to this one. So if we decide to do another span tag next to this one like this, and let's call it 2, all right, and we refresh our page. Let me see, let's refresh our page. You see, this one follows the first one, so it's 1 and 2, you know. So this one ends here and this other container starts and then end here. If we add another one, it will continue like that. So some text comes with those by default, and others they are like this. And when it's like this, we call it's an inline tag. This one, these two, they are block text, right? Because they cover the whole width. All right, so we looked at the span, we looked at h1, we looked at okay, yeah, let's and also one of the text that we'll be using the most is this one, the input tag, right? So the input tag, yes. So let's see, this one is to collect the information from the user, right? So if we want to take input from the user, we'll be using this one. It is self-explanatory. So as you can see now here, a user can type in something and press enter, you know. So that's the one that we'll be looking at. Okay, so as you can see right now in this Notepad editor, okay, Notepad is very basic. So the editor that we'll be using the most, I'll be using, right? So for you to follow up, make sure you download this one. It's a Sublime text, you know, Sublime text. So just go to your Google Chrome and say Sublime text, download. Yeah, now it will show up as you can see here. Just click on the download. All right, okay, so now Sublime text 3, yeah, wanted a text 3, Sublime text 3. Okay, so I'm doing this, I'll be coding in a Windows operating system. So if you are also coding on Windows operating system, come here and click here on Windows 64-bit, but remember, well, 64-bit, it will cover everything, even the 32-bit, it's fine. So just click them and download this. After downloading it, let's just do that. Let me see how long will it take. Okay, it will take some minutes, but like any software that you download, right, you download it. After download it, you install it, right? You go to it, let's see if so it will be on this folder. Right now it's still downloading, right? So it will be here, written Sublime, and then you double click on it to install it. And then after installing it, right, you open it. Make sure you open Sublime text. It will look like this. All right, let me just close these things, because here is the work that I'm working on, the systems. All right, so we close all of these. All right, I don't know what's happening here. Twitter list, okay, no. All right, I'll see these things. All right, so when you click on it, right, when you first open it, it will look like this after installing it. And you go to your new file, right, and save. Okay, in fact, before saving, make sure that you install the the emitter. Let me show you. So you go to, after installing it, you'll come here and install what we call a package control. So come to preferences first. If you don't find this thing here, written package control, go to your tools, somewhere here, underneath here, somewhere here, it will say install package control, right? And then you have to install it. you have to install the package control, and then it will throw up on what is this, on preferences, right? So once you have it on preferences, so this package control helps us to actually install other packages, you know, that we are going to use. For example, you saw me when I was coding here. I was coding each and everything step by step, right? So we would want something that will complete these text for us fast, in a faster way, just for the speed. So you have to come to package here, install package, just click here, and it should show you a pop-up, this pop-up. Okay, wait, and then once this pop-up shows up, install what we call emmet, this one. Okay, to me it's already installed, the emmet. Okay, this one is for CSS, I see. This let me show you the one that you're supposed to install. Okay, these packages, as you can see here, it is this emmet for Sublime, this one. So I already have it on my side, but you'll have to install it there. Let me show you what it does. Okay, but first, before I show you, here, understand that there are different types of HTML versions. Okay, so the one that we'll be using is HTML5. Okay, the latest one, this style. So it's the latest version, which comes with the latest text and whatnot, like the nav, you know, those nav tags, you'll see them. So what, navigation tag, and this, there are other ones, you know. So, and for us to tell the browser that we are using what's this, HTML5, we'll have to add this line here. It starts with an exclamation like this, doc type, and then we are like HTML. So this is the first line that tells our browser that, okay, we'll be using HTML5, you know. So our browser, it should interpret whatever that we wrote under this as HTML5. So HTML5 text will work once if you added that, if you added this this tagline there. Okay, look at it, it doesn't have a closing tag, it's just like that, right? So okay, let's come to Sublime and see how to do that. So when you start the file here, you will see that you only just need to hit exclamation, right, if you want it to be a HTML. But wait, first let's save it first. Let's save it. You have to save it first and say let's call it home, home.html. it's a HTML file, right? Save it. So okay, so we hit exclamation and then you say tab. You see what it does? It puts in all those basic text for us, you know. So like our title here, we would say home page. Okay, so if I want to write a h1 tag, I would say h1 and then just press tab. You see, so you can write hello, and okay, so if you want to write a p tag, again you just say p and press tab.